Hello, beautiful hearts. Welcome to day 25 of our Unlock Your Heart 30-day challenge, which also marks the final aspect of my signature heart framework, Transform. If you're new here, welcome. And I wanted to share a quick introduction of my heart framework. HEART is the acronym of five cornerstones that help you unlock your heart: heal, embody, awaken, reconnect, and transform. It's designed to help you learn how to safely open your heart and start living authentically today. I'm super excited about this aspect because this is when the shift you've been experiencing becomes sustainable. When you integrate and embody everything you've learned so you can step into the world with confidence, grace, compassion, and a renewed sense of purpose. This is the phase when you embody your higher self in service, leadership, and joy, and begin living your legacy, creating impact and guiding others from their awakened presence. And if you haven't had a chance to watch the previous challenges, you can go to my Unlock Your Heart 30-day challenge playlist for all previous videos. There's something miraculous about the journey of healing. It often begins in solitude, in the privacy of your heart, where the ache feels too heavy to share and the longing for peace becomes a whisper you can no longer ignore. You start walking inward, not because you have all the answers, but because staying where you are has become too painful. At first, it feels deeply personal. You might think, I just want to stop hurting. I just want to feel whole again. I just want to love myself. And that's true. But what you may not realize in those early tender steps is that the work you do inside yourself is not contained within you. Every time you breathe through pain instead of numbing it, every time you soften a reaction into understanding, every time you choose love when fear tempts you to choose, a quiet ripple moves outward. Your healing does not end with you, it begins with you. Think back to someone who once made you feel seen. Maybe they were calm when you were anxious. Maybe their kindness reached you at a time you'd forgotten kindness existed. Maybe they didn't say much, but something in their presence softened your edges, reminded you that goodness still lives in this world. That person's energy touched you. Their way of being became a mirror, a reminder of who you could become. Now, without even realizing it, you are becoming that presence for someone else. When you choose to heal, you shift the field around you. It's not always dramatic. You may not see it happen, but every time you meet your own pain with compassion, the energy of your relationships begins to change. Old patterns start to dissolve. Conversations that once turned to conflict now find calm. Those close to you begin to sense that something is different, even if they can't explain what it is. You are no longer reacting from the same place. You are no longer carrying the same weight. You are no longer repeating what you were taught. You are creating something new. And that newness, that lightness, ripples outward. Imagine a stone dropped into still water. The circle begins small, but it widens and widens, touching distant shores. That is your healing. Every act of self awareness, every choice to forgive, every moment of softness toward yourself, they all create ripples. You may never know how far they travel, but they reach places your eyes cannot see. Sometimes the ripple shows up in the smallest way. A friend might feel safer opening up around you because you've learned to listen with your whole heart. A stranger might feel uplifted by your gentle smile, never knowing the courage it took for you to offer it. A child might learn what love looks like simply by watching you speak to yourself with kindness. You are changing the world quietly every day. Healing is sacred work. It's not selfish, it's service. When you heal, You stop passing down pain. You stop repeating stories of fear and scarcity. You begin to weave a new narrative, one rooted in truth, love, and possibility. There may have been generations before you who didn't have the tools, who carried wounds they never knew how to name. You may have inherited pain that wasn't yours to begin with, but by facing it, by holding it with compassion, you're breaking the cycle. You're transforming what was passed down into something luminous. You may not see the full impact in this lifetime, but the vibration you emit, the love you embody, becomes part of the collective field. You're planting seeds of peace and will bloom in the hearts of others, maybe long after you're gone. Sometimes you might doubt this. You might think, well, I'm just one person. What difference could I make? But think of how many people's lives were changed by the presence of a single soul who chose love. A teacher, a healer, a friend, a stranger who smiled at you on a hard day. They may not have known their impact either, yet they did change something in you. And now you carry that light forward. This is the ripple. Your pain, once held with tenderness, becomes your wisdom. The moments that broke you become the soil where compassion grows. When you meet others who are still lost in their wounds, you no longer judge. You understand. You recognize their struggle because you've walked through your own. You can hold space for their healing, not by fixing them, but by simply being there, calm, loving, and present. You don't need to have all the answers. You don't need to teach or preach. Just your presence, grounded, open, kind, is medicine. Sometimes people will come into your life and feel something shift, even if they don't know why. Maybe they'll feel safer. Maybe they'll feel seen for the first time. Maybe they'll find courage in your quiet strength. They won't always tell you, but the ripple has begun. Healing isn't about becoming perfect. It's about becoming real. When you allow yourself to be human, to feel, to stumble, to rise again with gentleness, you give others permission to do the same. When you forgive yourself, others learn they can forgive themselves too. When you speak your truth with kindness, others feel safe to share theirs. And when you begin loving yourself without conditions, others begin to believe they are worthy of love too. Every act of self love is an act of collective healing. Sometimes the ripple travels backward. You may notice that as you grow, your relationships with your parents, your family, with your loved ones begin to shift. Maybe you understand them differently. Maybe you soften toward their struggles. Maybe you bring light to conversations that were once heavy. You might not change them directly, but your new vibration opens a door. And sometimes the ripple moves forward to people you haven't met yet, to those who will one day cross your path and feel something in you they've been longing to find in themselves. You may think you're doing this work alone, but you're part of something vast, a web of hearts remembering who they are. When one awakens, the whole becomes lighter. Your healing matters, not just for you, but for the world. So when you feel discouraged, when growth feels slow, or old wounds resurface, remember every moment of awareness is a gift. Every breath of compassion is a wave of light moving through the collective. You don't need to see the outcome. The energy knows where to go. There will be days when the ripple returns to you. Someone may say, "You've changed me." Or you'll witness a moment of love unfolding in someone else and realize this is the echo of your own journey. But even when no one says a word, trust that your transformation is shaping reality in ways you can't measure. You're living proof that healing is possible. You are the embodiment of love, becoming conscious of itself. You are the ripple, the gentle force that reminds the world what it means to come home. Take a moment now and feel into your own heart. Feel the weight you've released, the peace you've cultivated, the love you've reclaimed. Think of the ways your presence feels different now than it did before you began this journey. Notice the softness in your eyes, the steadiness in your breath, the compassion that flows more easily. That shift is not just for you, it radiates outward, touching everyone who meets you. You don't need to strive to make an impact. You already are the impact. Simply by choosing awareness, by embodying love, you are shifting the fabric of existence. You may never fully know the extent of your ripple, and maybe that's the beauty of it. The universe doesn't require you to track every wave, only to keep being the drop, to keep living with intention, kindness, and truth, to keep returning to love again and again. Your healing heals the world. Your peace becomes a sanctuary for others. Your presence is a lighthouse, guiding those still lost in the storm. You are part of a greater unfolding, a rising tide of consciousness, lifting all hearts toward wholeness. And it all began with you saying yes to your own healing. That yes is sacred. That yes is legacy. Because when you choose love within, love expands without. When you come home to yourself, the world becomes a little more like home for everyone. So keep walking gently, keep listening deeply, keep shining softly. You are the ripple, and the world is already changing in your wake. And now I want to invite you into a simple practice, one that will help you feel the truth of your impact. Close your eyes for a moment and take a slow breath in through your heart. Feel the air expand your chest, as if your heart is glowing a little brighter with every inhale. And as you exhale, imagine that glow rippling outward, touching the people in your life one by one, your loved ones, your friends, even those who have challenged you. See the light move beyond them, reaching your community, your city, the whole world. Now bring to mind three moments from your life when someone's love or kindness made a difference for you. It could be a word, a gesture, a smile that lifted you when you needed it most. Notice how those memories still live inside you. That is the ripple. Now ask yourself, where might I already be creating these ripples for others? Maybe it's the way you listen, the way you show up with kindness, the way you choose peace when you could choose anger. If you feel called, write down three ways your healing has quietly shifted your world. Maybe in your relationships, your work, or even how you treat yourself. Let this be your reminder that your presence matters more than you realize. And before you end, whisper these words to your heart. My healing is a gift. My love ripples through the world. Breathe that truth in. Let it root into your being. Because every step you take toward love sends waves across the universe. And today, you've made the world a little more whole.